Vision. I'm Mark Allen. We're going to talk about women's health right now with a new writer about women's health, Rena Cohen from CFRAN, right? Did I get that right?
Correct, CFRAN.
CFRAN. And let's talk about you in general.
Thank you.
You've been involved in women's health, not only as a woman, but as somebody who's interested in helping other women learn about health. Thanks about that.
How kind of you. I appreciate that. So I have been in the food ingredient industry for about 26 years, and I started right after the military. I served in the U.S. Army as a linguist back when I was young. Just for fun fact.
Wow.
Yeah. Speak Russian fluently. Unfortunately, now it's more handy than it was back in 1996. But anyway, but yes, absolutely. So I joined the industry right after the military. I worked for J. Mannheimer Inc. I was Steve and Karen Mannheimer's assistant. Now they're both at Carey still, and had a wonderful, wonderful introduction to the industry and became very passionate about it. The thing with our industry, which you know, is once you are in, you never want to leave. There is so much to discover. There's so much that we know, that we do, that impacts the health and wellness of our family and community, that it's hard.
What's important to me is the fact that with science, a lot of the products and programs that are featured here at Expo West, for example,
Amazing.
From Informa and New Hope Network, is that it's based on science, as I just said.
Based on science, right? Science is getting more exciting.
It is.
More relevant.
And yet, mainstream health still poo-poo.
Well, AI has sort of kicked mainstream a little bit to get moving, right? I mean, we are at a tipping point. There has been a 20-year gap in clinical research for women's health. And the reason was between the 70s and the 90s, the FDA outlawed for eliminated research on women of childbearing years for fear risks, which is understandable. However, that gap has created a really, really big delta. And I'll give you an example. I have been a female empowerment writer, as you know, Mark, my side hobby for many, many years. And the percentage of female CEOs in Fortune 500 companies is actually higher than the percentage of sports research study conducted on women. So, you know, when you think about sending off your daughter to soccer practice, and scientifically, she has nothing to complain about as far as exhaustion levels, no matter what time of the month it is. But her wearables can actually tell her when she's about to get her period. But scientifically, we have yet to establish that she might be a little more tired, perhaps. So we have a gap. Science needs to catch up. But that's the excitement of what's happening today.
Do you think that the FDA and NIH and all the other government agencies are focusing now more on women's health?
Yes. I think that what I think is there's a huge transparency moment that's happening right now. And with the stripping away of everything, as consumers become more wise and more, I'd say, able to research things on their own, you're seeing these huge walls just fall away. And one of them is this huge gap in women's health, right? We might not have known that, but it's pretty hard to ignore it now. You see it. And AI is making it so that clinical research, what used to take years of everything, preclinical discovery, research, everything, take years. Now it takes months. And now you have women running the show more than you did, 20 years ago. So it's a different day.
It's interesting because a couple of months ago, I spoke to your boss.
He's fantastic.
Huh?
He's fantastic.
He is fantastic. Not. Okay.
Absolutely.
And we talked about AI, and I asked if when he walked into the lab, if he says, "Hello, AI," I said,
"Hello, future leader."
Hello, future leader. Is AI is every place. I mean,
it's every place. And I also have the luxury of working for a pioneer. So Anand Swarup, thank you for the ability to talk about him. Anand Swarup was probably the global leader in AI. He was the first person to bring AI and blockchain to Ayurveda many, many years ago, and works very closely with Nutrify today. Also, he's of course part of that. But in essence, he has developed AI to the point where it could essentially create Sanskrit. AI, and of course, Anand is on the pharma side in India too,
right.
Board of Ayush, which is connected to the FDA for Ayurveda. So here you see technology making a pretty big impact and a pretty big area that's completely disrupted.
That's basically thousands of years old with the air.
A couple of minutes now, what we can see. And that's, and you're seeing that impact everywhere. I mean, it's wonderful that my pioneer CEO did it, but now you're seeing Google jump on too, right? So I think we're getting it.
I'm not so sure about Google, but that's okay.
They'll figure it out.
As we wrap up, we're just doing this short little first-time interview with Rena. Okay, thank you. You're welcome. What should women do to empower themselves when they go to the doctor, okay? Because, there's an old joke, okay? Old joke. Doc, it hurts when I do this. And the doc would say, well, don't do that.
Right. So I will say, so it's a very good point you make, and I'd love to give an answer that
Well, let me just go one step further. What should happen when you say, Doc, it hurts, and he says, or she says, don't do that, the patient needs to say, why does it hurt? And they don't.
Right. Okay. So I'm going to say something. I, many years ago, worked for a company where we asked to work with Susan G. Komen as a cause partner. And what I learned was that women, they get very upset when their kids are sick. They get very upset when their husbands are sick. They get very upset when their leaders are sick. They get upset with everyone's sick. When they get sick, they don't mind. And so that's the problem. The problem is that not only do they not mind, but we have conditioned society not to mind. So it doesn't mind. Let's think of the giving tree. It doesn't mind either, right?
Right.
So I think women have come to a place where it's become so obnoxiously obvious that they've been so neglected that they don't care anymore. They're just not polite about it as they used to be, I think. They're just tired and sick. And I think we owe it to women, mothers. And I just learned, I thought this was so interesting. When a woman gives birth to a child, if it's a son, she keeps those cells in her system. She'll always have her children. So are we really women, or are we maybe all a little bit of both? I think we need to take into consideration that we all have mothers and daughters, children, and if we kill them, that we won't have any more boys. So we need to keep them healthy.
And we absolutely. Like my mom kept me healthy
from someone who's a female.
Absolutely. It did. And from what I've been reading, maybe males aren't needed anymore. It won't be as much fun.
We're going to have to prove it a little more, perhaps, once the relationship.
It won't be as much fun, but
we like our boys. But I think the thing is, it's not about boy or girl. It's about balance. If you kill the giving tree, you've killed the giving tree. It's just that simple. So I think it's a matter of respecting that all hormones matter, all genders matter, everyone matters.
People matter.
And it's not, and this is today, it's not hierarchy, it's equality, it's cooperation. And that's what it's about. So I think we need to cooperate. And we have the scientific evidence and data to do that versus our own opinions.
All right. For transparency, Rena and I have been talking and Zooming and emailing and texting for well over a year.
Yeah.
We met first time 4.5 minutes ago. So thank you very much. Appreciate it. I'm Mark Allen. This is Innovation.
Thank you.